So Tifton was a small town back then. Diner downtown, movie theater that had recently closed, kind of what you see with all the small towns that had happened during the time. Yep, I grew up there. I was born in '68, so grew up there until I moved off to college back in '88. So, my grandfather knew everybody in town. We had a parts store in town and a farm. So I grew up through 4-H doing showing steers, showing hogs and sheep. So I grew up very much on the farm, but at the same time we lived across town, and I was pretty much a city boy, as much as you could be in that small town. So I did a pre-vet major, and so that allowed me the opportunity once I got to Georgia to complete one more year of undergrad. So after 3 years of undergrad, I was able to get in early to vet school. After completing my first year of vet school, I could then applied and was awarded a bachelor's of agriculture. So that was what my undergrad degree was. Finished out 3 more years of vet school and graduated in '93. As crazy as it sounds, it's what I've always wanted to do. I knew that if I wasn't a veterinarian, I wanted to be a 4-H county agent so I could work with 4-Hers, because I had a big influence with several people growing up with that. And then if not, then I was going to be a teacher. That was going to be my next step. So I did have my backup plans, but for some reason, and I never thought of it as a career. It was just something I thought that I would do. I had a great respect for our veterinarians in Tifton at the time, and just thought that's what I was meant to be. So 4-H not only did the farm animals, which everybody kind of knew from the 50s and 60s whenever it was getting started, but they had a lot of different leadership programs as well. So by following in some of those programs, I was able to be a little more of an effective leader as I am today, trying to run a business and handle employees. So as we look back, there were several things, the different programs, even just being able to do public speaking. I got a chance to be able to go to West Hartford, Connecticut, and work with a referral hospital that did a lot of surgeries, did a lot of internal medicine. And while I'm not board certified, I knew that they could do things in a converted dairy barn. It was there right outside of West Hartford. They took a dairy barn and converted it into a specialty hospital. And I figured if they could do that, then we could do that here in Ackworth whenever I came back. So I was a clogger. So we, in high school, and then once I got to ABAC, I was part of the clogging team, and we would go around the state doing different performances at fairs and different events. So, but I was considered an ABAC clogger. So.
Okay. You still do any clogging now?
Only at the occasional wedding. But when I got here, I just fell in love with the town and the people, and I decided that I wasn't going to leave, that I stayed here, and eventually bought in and became part owner of the business itself.
So you are probably thinking, well, I'll go anywhere in Georgia that has a job, and this was the one that looked the best to you?
Well, I had actually interviewed in 5 different states and was offered positions in 5 different states. I was just going to try and come to the Southeast, but there was something about the town and just kind of made me feel like I was at home.
Now, did the connection with Bartow Animal Hospital continue?
It did. Once I eventually bought in, and then we built the Lake City Animal Hospital, then we had 3 clinics in our group. So we eventually, by the time we finished up with that partnership, there's 5 of us that were partners. We owned 3 clinics. I ended up volunteering with the PTA, which PTA has always been kind of more of a female-oriented thing, especially with our group. So I was really the only male that was part of it. We actually had started a program with some of the other dads at Ackworth Elementary and McCall, where it's called Watchdogs, Dads of Great Students. And it was all about parental involvement and getting more fatherly figures. So we'd have dads come in and volunteer for the day. It was a great experience to be able to see. There would be families where there may not be a father, but a neighbor came in and would be the father of those children for the day. So it really was an interesting experience, being able to see the dynamics and how just actually having a parental figure of some sort could just make a big difference in those kids' days whenever they were there.
So anything we haven't talked about that you aspire to do as a member of the Board of Aldermen?
Well, I think it's just continuing our quality of life services. As we look at everything that we have, our incredible parks and rec system.
Mm-hmm.
We have people that want to move here because they want to live close to the park.
Mm-hmm.
And that helps to drive our property values and to keep people wanting to keep coming to town. I think as far as our quality of life, making sure that, with our economic development, that we are still supporting all of our small businesses, because they're the ones that are going to drive and keep our town growing. I think one of the things that's been the biggest humbling experience with Ackworth is how welcoming the citizens were whenever I came here 30 years ago, and how they've afforded me the opportunity to, have a successful business and to be able to raise a family, because, the city has been a safe place for my kids to grow up. We've had a great quality of life here, and it's all because of the trust that the citizens had given me as their veterinarian. I love the fact that I remember people as they were children, and now they're coming in with their own children and their pets. So I'm seeing it kind of full circle. So it's a great experience, and it's a great thing to be able to look back on, to know that I was here for that long.